Welcome to the Hidden Heroes Talk Show. My name is Ariel. I'm here in Los Angeles. Our guest speaker is actually calling in from Houston, Texas, Lisa Alexander. She is an author. Thank you for being with us, Lisa. We're excited to hear from you and talk about your book.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome. Before we actually dive into it, would you just introduce yourself? Kind of tell us a little bit about where you're from, your hobbies, a little bit of background.
Sure. I am originally from Southern California, so I know exactly where, the area where you're residing. Moved to Houston about 20 years ago. Married my high school sweetheart, so we've been married about 27 years, and I still like him. So you can. I still like him. I really do. I really like him. We have two kids, the normal stuff, doing everyday normal life kinds of things. Have a business that I run. I started out as a graphic designer and kind of morphed into this marketing person. My online name is The Marketing Stylist, and do some public speaking, written some books. I really enjoy talking to women and helping them clear the clutter out of their head and helping them think correctly about themselves. So that's what I absolutely love to do.
That is awesome. I love it. And congratulations to your books, especially being a mom. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's talk about one of them. One of the books is Put It Out There, 5 Steps to Kick Fear's Butt and Move Your Dream Forward. When did that come out, first of all?
It came out just around Halloween last year, so perfect timing. We were dealing with fear, and it came out right about Halloween, so that's when it was released.
Awesome. And that is available as paperback and ebook.
Correct. The book can be purchased on my website. It's thiswomanknows.com, and the e-version of the book is on Amazon.com.
Awesome. Let's talk about that book.
Sure.
Put it out there. I love the title. I love the title. What motivated you to write this?
Dealing with my own fears. It's a journey. It was really a journey that I took personally, and I wanted women to be free. I wanted them to not be afraid, because I know a lot of women are absolutely scared, and scared of a variety of things. One is fear of success, and then we're fear of what other people think. And so we wait for validation. We wait for people to give us the okay, and we won't move. We won't move forward until we get that validation, or we're scared of what spouses may think or what our family may think. You may be the first to do whatever it is that's in your heart to do, and people will shoot you down. And it's moving past that, moving past the need for validation, moving past your own fear, moving outside of your own normal, and moving to success, and moving outside of fear. So that's why the book was written. It's practical. It's here's what we need to deal with and how you get over and become successful, and some practical steps that you can take to move any dream forward.
Got it. I love it. Did you self-publish, by the way?
I did. This is the third time that I've self-published.
Good for you. That's awesome. I actually published a book this summer, so I self-published, so I'm very familiar with that. Congratulations on 3.
Thank you, and congratulations to you as well.
Thank you. So is your book, how many pages is it? Is it geared towards teens, young adults, all ages? Is it more of a sit-down, thorough book? Because I know mine is actually 1 page a day type of thing. So if you could tell us a little bit more about it.
The book, it is, I think, probably less than 100 pages. It was really meant to be a guide of sorts, and the feedback or the reviews that I've gotten about the book, they thought it was a workbook at first, because they're doing the reading and they're going, oh my God, it's like, that's me. They see themselves in the book, and they start listing. One of the things in the book we talk a lot about is what I like to call throwed off thinking, and it's thinking that is so contrary to who you are at your core. It's the lies you tell yourself, because accepting the truth just seems so foreign. It's so far-fetched. So we tell ourselves these crazy things. I call it our internal BS that we tell ourselves. And so it's a matter of clearing all that out. So one of the ladies that read the book, she said, Lisa, it really was like a workbook for me. And I sat down and I was writing in the pages, what my own thrown off thinking was, and, how to turn that around, or what should I be thinking. So it's it's an interactive book. You'll take notes, and I've also been told that the chapters in the book sound like impact statements. It's powerful, it's effective, and it's in and out. It's very practical as well.
Gotcha. I love it. And then who is it geared towards?
It's women primarily, all ages. It really is.
Nice. And then you mentioned earlier that you do speaking engagements. Is that what's the book?
I do. I speak on the title, put it out there, how to overcome your fears, and then it's part of a series. The first book I wrote is called This Woman Knows, and it's so important for women to know their own value, to know their own worth, because I tell you this, it's like if you don't know, and it's like you'll be taken advantage of in the workplace, in the marketplace. So it's so important that as women we know before we even put it out there. We've got to know its own value. So it's part of that whole series, and it's what I speak on, empowering women. You've got to know who you are. You've got to know what your worth is. You've got to know that the thing that you're producing is good. And so the speaking engagements are along that line, helping women understand that what they produce is good. They've got to know. They have to know their value. And then how do you do that? And once you do know, what are the steps, some practical steps? And one of those steps is overcoming your fear and putting it out there. You can't get stuck at, okay, I know it's good, then what? What's my next step? So the put it out there is step 2 to This Woman Knows.
I absolutely love it. I actually host a support group for suicide, depression, and self-injury. And so I'm always looking for good books to share with the women in my group. So I'd love to share this book with them.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. There's something you had talked about or mentioned when we were emailing, and that was your aha moment. Would you mind sharing with us what that was?
Sure. Growing up as a teenager, okay, so I married really young, and part of my education was we learned about, she's called the virtuous woman, and if you read her story, this virtuous woman, she did a lot in a day. She got a lot accomplished. And so I remember reading her story and being so intimidated by it. I was thoroughly intimidated by her story and thought, oh my God, that could never be me. And so I left her story for a minute and didn't go back and just kind of left it out there. And then when I got married and started a business, I went back and looked at her again and realized that what they had forgotten to tell me is that she had help. And so that's so important to know as women, that you don't do it alone. You have help, and good help is a blessing to you. I promise it is. And so then after I realized, okay, she had some help, she didn't do it all by herself, there was one part of the story that struck me at my core. I'm sure I had read it before, but this time it just really stood out. And it says that she perceived her merchandise was good, or she knew that the thing that she produced was good. And that just really struck home for me, because I was the person that always sought outside validation for who I was or for my work. And I know a lot of women go through that. We're waiting for people to validate us before we move forward, or we won't acknowledge our own greatness, which is a travesty. We have to acknowledge what's at work in us and appreciate its worth. And so that really hit home for me, and it changed my trajectory, because then I could validate my own work. I could look at it and say it was good. I didn't need anybody else to tell me. I no longer needed that validation. I could look at it, because, again, I was a graphic designer. I could look at it and go, yeah, that is pretty good. I did that. And have no qualms about charging the right price for that as well. And so it just really changed my life. And so that's been the lesson that I learned, and I want to share, and that I do share with women. You've got to know, and then you've got to put what you know into action.
I love it. What I'm hearing there is believing in yourself or knowing your worth.
You have to. You really do.
I love it. Lisa, what are your goals for this year? Where are we going to see you? Are we going to have more books, more speaking engagements? What type of year are we going to see for you?
All of the above. Um, there is a conference. It's amazing. It's called Hello Fear, and it's going to be here in Houston, and I'll be the keynote speaker for that event. And so I'm so excited about that. So things are really coming together. So there's definitely going to be another book that comes out maybe by the end of the year. Some speaking engagements. I've got a couple more interviews to do. So things are growing, and we're even well. Let's just say that there's a group of women and myself that we're putting together something very great, very cool, coming in probably the first or second quarter of this year. I can't talk about it just yet, but we do have some great things coming out. I do believe in collaboration, so I believe that a woman's path to greatness is definitely tied up in another woman. And by that, I mean, it's a good thing, collaboration, because there's a stat out there, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but there's a stat that says that 70% of all business women in the United States only make $25,000 a year.
Wow.
That's not a lot of money. And so for women who want to break out of that, who want to do more, I believe collaboration is so key. So I am practicing what I preach, and we've got a collaborative project in the works, and so I'm excited about that.
I absolutely love it. I'm writing that down as your quote, by the way. But if you have another quote you want to share with us, or a saying or a scripture that you live your life by, we would love to hear it.
It's been like a 2-year journey for me, just this next step, this next level that I'm now experiencing. And one of the things that I first told myself was that it's all about what you do every day. It's your daily rituals that get you to your purposed place. And so everything that you do, your daily habits, they'll either sabotage or they'll support your success. And so I would tell myself, and it was like, today, my thoughts, my actions, my speech, my thoughts, they all support and honor the core of who I am. And so that's what I kind of live by, because if I'm supporting and honoring who I am by making the right decisions, by thinking the right thoughts, by telling myself the right stuff, then I'm bound to be successful in everything that I put forth to do.
I love it. I'm very excited for your kids. I think they have an awesome, very awesome role model.
Thank you. Thank you.
They're going to be some good, powerful children, adults in the world growing up, I can tell already.
Thank you. I have a phenomenal daughter. She's married, has a new baby, and she's a terrific mom herself. And then we have one more left in the house. We'll be empty nester soon. That's the blessing. Starting early. We'll be empty nester soon.
That is awesome. I love it. Well, Lisa, it's been an absolute pleasure here. Everyone listening, and the name of her book again is Put It Out There, 5 Steps to Kick Fear's Butt and Move Your Dream Forward. And you can find that on her website, which is thiswomanknows.com. And the ebook is on Amazon. So Google it. I love it. Lisa, it's been a pleasure talking to you. You truly are one of our hidden heroes. Thank you for being a voice and uniting women around the world. I can't wait to see where you are, and I'm sure we'll be seeing you expand past Houston. Absolutely sure.
Thank you so much. I received that blessing. Thank you so much, Ariel.
You're welcome. Have a great evening, everyone. You've been listening to Ariel with Hidden Heroes. Good night.